What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's show, we are going to discuss the idea of trading for Budda Baker potentially after a new report came out that may change some things on Denver's end. But before we get to all that, make sure to subscribe. We have daily free content here. So if you are looking for a Broncos YouTube channel, you have found the spot. Hit that sub button down below. Now, let's talk about Budda Baker because he requested a trade back in April. That's not any new information. He was looking for a new contract. Word on the street was he wanted to become the highest paid safety, and that might not be the case. Now, we all know how good and great Budda Baker is. PFF ranked him as the 19th best safety out of 88 qualifying players. I don't expect a holdout or a hold-in from Baker. He went to the mandatory minicamp, did not want to get fined, and he plans on attending training camp. So what's the new information here? Why are we talking about this today? Well, Budda Baker's agent came out and said that Baker is not looking to become the highest paid safety, which was sort of the word on the street back when he requested a trade. It was either trade me or make me the highest paid safety. So if he doesn't have to become the highest paid safety, could Denver kick the tires a little bit on Budda Baker and make one heck of a starting safety tandem? When you look at the Broncos safety depth chart, it certainly doesn't help when you re-sign Kareem Jackson and draft J.L. Skinner with one of your 5 picks in this past draft to make the argument to go out and add another safety. But I can't lie and act like Kareem Jackson even holds a candlestick to what Budda Baker has done so far in his career. When it comes to how much it would cost to get Budda Baker, we'll look at a trade package later on, but something that has to be factored in is that new contract because he only has 2 years left on his deal. You're already paying Justin Simmons $15.25 million a season, which is good for 6th most in the NFL. So if you added Budda Baker, you're likely extending him. That would make the most sense if you want to trade for him. And if he's not number 1, he definitely wants to be top 5, right? He wants to get north of $15 million, probably somewhere in that $17 million range if it's not number 1 at $19 million like Derwin James has. So you'd be paying a lot of money to Justin Simmons and Budda Baker. Both would be some of the top highest paid safeties on one roster. Now, Baker would also be reuniting with Vance Joseph, who has come back to Denver to be the defensive coordinator. And Budda Baker was awesome under Vance Joseph in the desert. 332 tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 26 pass breakups, and 7 interceptions. Now, we've talked about Budda Baker before on the channel, and I'm not as gung-ho as some other people are to trade for him, but I would be lying to say this would not be an awesome tandem, right? If you were to get Budda Baker and Justin Simmons on the same team, on the same field, that would be one of the best safety duos, if not the best safety duo in the NFL. You look at what these two guys have done over the last 3 seasons. Baker has always been one of the better run-stopping safeties in the NFL. 14 tackles for loss over the last 3 seasons. And you add in Justin Simmons' ball skill, 16 interceptions during that stretch. Both players under the age of 30. It would be a 1-2 punch that also has Pat Surtain, the number 1 cornerback in the NFL, on its roster. So this secondary for Denver would be a no-fly zone, and that alone is very tough to pass on. But I'm going to outline some of the reasons why I don't think it's necessarily the best move for the Broncos. But before I get to that, what do you guys think? Should the Broncos trade for Budda Baker? Y for yes or N for no? This is the pinned comment. Scroll on down and give me your thoughts. Like I said, it would be an incredible tandem, right? It would be one of the best, if not the best safety duo, not just in 2023, but the NFL has seen in quite some time. But is making a roster with 2 of the top 10 highest paid safeties on the same team a recipe for success? Like, I just don't think that having 2 highly paid safeties is going to get you to the promised land. When you look at the last 5 Super Bowl winning teams, here are the combined cap hits for their 2 starting safeties. Last year with the Chiefs, you had Justin Reed and Juan Thornhill, and it amounted to a little under $8 million combined, right? Year before that with the Rams, they had 2 young safeties in Rapp and Fuller, just $2-ish million. Same for the Bucs in 2020, the Chiefs back in 2019. Now, the Patriots in 2018, they had Devin McCourty and Patrick Chung, so those 2 players ran them a high bill. But the point is that everyone loves to say you don't have to get an expensive running back to win a Super Bowl. I don't know how many teams are going on deep postseason runs because they have 15% of their cap space allocated to the safety position. I just don't think the safety position warrants that big of an impact to give them that big of a paycheck, and not going to get you any further in the postseason. Now, before we get to the rest of the show, there is an awesome new shirt going on over at Fanatics. It's a cool Broncos retro t-shirt, plus it's on sale. So go to chatsports.com/DENretro. The link's in the comments and the description. When you use our link, you can get this awesome t-shirt on sale. Beat the summer heat by rocking your favorite squad while also staying comfortable. Now, getting to what a trade could look like. For those of you that are dead set on getting Budda Baker, you want to get him and Justin Simmons on the same team, I can't deny you that. It would be a lot of fun. I think a trade would look roughly something like this. Budda Baker comes over along with the future day 3 draft pick in exchange for Caden Stern, so they get their Budda Baker replacement immediately, one of the better young safeties in my opinion, and a 3rd-round pick. I don't think Arizona would accept this. They'd probably want a bit more, but Denver is not giving up a first for Budda Baker, and their 2nd-round pick belongs to the Saints due to the Sean Payton trade, so this is sort of the best I can offer. Now, one thing to factor into this decision is if you do make that trade, you go into 2024 with only 1 pick in the first 2 days of the draft, right? You had 2 3rd-round picks. You had one from yourself and then one from the Saints. You traded one of those 2 to move up to get Riley Moss. So now you've got a first, and then you're waiting until round 4 to make a pick again. That's a long ways to go. And my fear is if 2024 does not go well, you're probably going to want as much draft capital as possible to do some sort of reset. I have no idea what 2025 or whatever would look like. I don't know what 2024 would look like if 2023 does not go well. And you have to use the draft to rebuild and retool a little bit, and all you have in the first 2 days of the draft is a 1st-round pick, which is good, but you might want some more bullets in the chamber, and maybe you don't want an older-ish safety on a very expensive contract, and now you've got a bunch of veteran players, but your team is not really ready to win now. I've said this before, I just don't think Denver is one veteran piece away from putting it all together and turning a 5-win season around into a 10-plus win season. We see teams go from worst to first all the time in the NFL, and the Broncos with Sean Payton could very well make that move in 2023, but I think it's just too risky to go all chips in on this season and the next season when the big question mark is Russell Wilson going to return to his Seahawks days? And if the answer is no, you're going to want some picks to start that rebuild or retool, whatever you want to call it. But going back to that trade idea, would you guys accept this trade, right? If you were the Payton duo, Sean and George Payton, if you had this offer in front of you, are you clicking A for accept or D for decline? Sound off for me in the comments section below. Before we let you guys go, we have our summer hot takes. We've been doing it all summer long to get us through the dog days of the off season. A little bit chilly today in Denver. 71 degrees is the high, and this is a honey barbecue take. It's more of a verbal assault of Buffalo Wild Wings for having honey barbecue above mild on their heat chart. I don't understand how that's possible. But my honey barbecue take has nothing to do with football today. It is this. People who complain online, specifically on Twitter, about fireworks and their babies and their dogs hating it suck. Because no one in the history of lighting fireworks has thought, before I light this next firework, let me refresh Twitter. And if someone doesn't like it, then we're going to stop for sure. You're talking to no one, right? I don't know if you are watching and you are the people that tweeted out yesterday. I've got a dog. She hates fireworks too. But you know what I'm not going to do? Tweet about it because no one's going to stop lighting fireworks. So that's my TED Talk. I like fireworks. Dogs and babies hate fireworks. People that like fireworks do not give a shit about what you say on Twitter. So that's my piece right there. We're going to sign off. Let you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see everyone later.